Obviously, a disappointing senior day, last home game performance of this season. There was a lot of things that we need to do better. We got 3 days to pinpoint exactly why, when things go wrong, they seem to be going way wrong for us. We've won 3 out of 5 games, but at the same time, when we're losing and struggling, we seem to struggle to stick with it. And obviously, that's not the characteristic of a championship team. So we got about 72 hours, it sounds like, to figure it out by Tuesday afternoon. We need to play better in all areas of the game, and obviously, as a staff, we need to make sure that we prepare our guys to have a better performance than this on Tuesday night.
I was going to ask you, what do you do with this one, or this information? Is it something that you do break down, or is it one that you'd rather just flush out of your mind and get ready for time?
I think we need to identify what happened and why it happened. I don't think you harp on it or beat anybody over the head with it, but you got to identify the issues and fix them. We have bounced back from every challenging game like this that we've had, so that's a good history and experience to have. At the same time, as the season wraps up and there becomes consequence on each game, you do have to handle the ups and downs, and I think we've struggled to handle the downs here in the month of February. Obviously, there's been times this year, and as this group's been together for about 2 years, that we've handled those ups and downs very, very well. But it seems like these last couple games, once we get in a little bit of a hole, we start going off course on both ends and play with maybe a little desperation, maybe trying to get a steal or trying to get a block or trying to gamble or trying to take a quick shot, rather than trust the process and continue to play as a unit out there. And basketball is the ultimate team game, and if you don't play as a group and as one, you're not going to be very successful versus good teams late in the year.
Coach, I believe your largest run of the night was a 6-0 run. What was stopping you guys from getting into that rhythm to come back?
Well, I mean, credit to Liberty first. I mean, they're a very good team, so I'd say, I mean, playing one of the best, playing a team that's amongst the best teams probably in the country is a factor. I thought they were quicker and sharper with all their decision making tonight. So they were winning one-on-one matchups. They were providing help. They were when they set screens, we were getting hit, and when we set screens, they were getting through. Felt like just the one-on-one battles. When we tried to attack the rim, they were blocking us and keeping us out of the paint. And when they tried to attack the rim, they were getting all the way to the basket. So we'll see if the film matches up with that. But they certainly played with a hunger and a passion to win a league championship today. And no matter where you're at in the standings, you have to play with that hunger and passion to win a championship every day. And we got 3 days to make sure we do that on Tuesday night.
Hank, you talked about their passing ability going into this game. Tonight was almost extraordinary the way they threw the ball, passed the ball around the perimeter. As you mentioned, they get the best shot possible. Yeah,
I'm sure you can imagine, I'm not in the mood to ooze and wow about how good they are on offense, but they put on, they've gotten gradually better and better. They've always been a great passing team, but man, they play as one. I guess part of the reason when you play a team that plays as one on both ends of the floor, and I would say they play as impressively as one on the offensive end as any team in America. It's there are no agendas out there. There's no selfishness. There's no care over who gets credit or the points. They certainly still have a hunger to accomplish something that they had not done as a group, and they've chosen to, on both ends, really give in to one another and play together. It's easy to say stay home, but man, they felt like they were beating us one-on-one when we did that. And then you try to help a little bit, and you pass, and you recover, and you get your head start spinning around. And they have the ability to do that to people. And obviously, they scored 86 points the other night versus Middle Tennessee, and we knew they were clicking. And they continued that progress here today. So they're a team that they're much better than they were 2 months ago, and that's what great teams do. They shared the ball very, very well, and obviously some of those guys shot the ball great from three. So they certainly played with a hunger and a passion, and obviously a very well-coached team, and great performance by them.
Do you have any warning signs coming into this one that this might be the type of game you guys have?
No, I don't know. It's hard to tell. These games happen so fast. These Saturday games, these last 2 obviously, last 2 weeks we've won on Thursday and struggled on Saturday. earlier in the season, we bounced back and played decent on some Saturdays. So it's I don't know. It's you try to. I just told them after the game, you try to find, we have 3 days, so, do you practice and get right? Do you try to rest your body? I don't know. And we've struggled to find maybe the right middle ground on these last 2 turnarounds. So I'm not sure. Obviously, I didn't think we were going to come out and this was going to happen. Somebody asked me on the radio what you were going to do next 24 hours and hadn't really envisioned the situation. So I don't exactly have the answer to that quite yet. I do think that our team, when we're playing well, can beat anybody. But unfortunately, we've shown that when things go wrong, that we can come apart a little bit. So we've got to figure out what our issues are and address them here pretty fast. So
I mean, that recent pattern of Thursday to Saturday, with the Saturday not being, that doesn't bode well for tournament play.
It's happened the last 2 weeks. Previously we really had our last home loss was a struggle versus Sam Houston on a Thursday night, and we bounced back and got a big win versus Louisiana Tech 3 weeks ago. So it's certainly happened the last 2 weeks. We got to control what we can control. We have 3 days to get better, and we're going to make sure we do that.
This season you've been through a lot, with injuries and all that stuff going on. You still finished over 500, 17 wins this season. Can you kind of just reflect a little bit on the regular season?
It's been there's certainly, it hasn't gone the way that we probably envisioned it when we, in college basketball today, you start summer workouts on about June 1st. And, man, on June 1st, it seemed like we were a pretty well-oiled machine, and it seems like the year certainly hasn't gone exactly probably the way that we envisioned it. So, at the same time, we know who each of those guys are individually. Obviously, we've added Blaze, Braxton, and Leroy to a group that has been through a lot. This group is good enough to win any game that we step on the floor. Now, winning a conference championship, winning 4 games in 5 days, that's all very, very difficult to do. But I do think that we've had our moments where we've broke through and we've showed the heart that we have, and we've showed what we have the potential to be. Obviously, we have, I guess, as you said, we have 17 wins, and again, we're not going down there to do anything but to try to win. So we're going to try to add on to that. I guess the best reflection I have is we've won 3 out of 5 after losing 4 in a row. That 4-game stretch was a kind of a stretch that kind of took us a little off course. And going into tonight, we had won 3 out of 4, and you certainly hope that this game would have gone a little smoother. At the same time, we have bounced back a million times from adversity, and we have to do it one more time for sure.
So it'll be FIU again.
That's what everybody's telling me.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I mean, you guys just played them, so I guess that helps and hurts.
Yeah, I don't know how we have to control what we can do. We split with them in the regular season. Yeah, we just played them here. We figured out how to win a game on Thursday night. But I mean, if we don't have the senior, there's a lot of seniors out there tonight. If we don't have the senior maturity to know that any time you step on the floor, there's a demand to do your best, and if you're anything short of that, things could go wrong. If we haven't learned that by now, then that's an immaturity that should not be present with an older group. So. We'll see what happens. I'm sure they play very, very hard. They always do. They're going to guard you. They're going to compete. The fact that they've had some ups and downs this year, more downs than ups, and they still bring an intensity and a passion every time they play the game. So I'd expect it will be every game in this league is a challenging game, and we got to be our best on Tuesday night. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you.